Now listen, Linda, just because you just bought a subscription of ChatGPT does not mean you just go in there, put a few keywords in on how to create a group home and get the results that you need to get. Hear me and hear me clearly. I have heard so many people, I just got off of a call last night telling them they could set up a group home for veterans just using ChatGPT. That is the worst advice to give someone. So welcome to Live for Free, where we transform lives of individuals through real estate. And I am going to specifically talk today about why you should not try to create your group home or transitional housing program solely from ChatGPT. And I've got several reasons why. So let's jump right in. Now, let me tell you, and I'm not going to sit here, I'm not a hater of AI. We are currently living in a time where AI is everywhere. So learning how to use it instead of abusing it is where you need to be. And there is this misconception that you can just go in, pop in a few words, and chuck out a whole bunch of stuff that's going to help you set up your transitional housing program or your group home. So I want to just clear that up right now. You cannot, especially if you have no experience going into this, if you don't have any experience, you've never had an opportunity to even be a part of the intricate pieces of transitional housing, you are going to be setting yourself up for failure. So I am here to help protect you from yourself. Now, we're going to talk about how you can use AI, but specifically going in here thinking you're going to go in here and create a group home using this process, you're going to do more harm to yourself than good. And I don't want to see you fail. I want to see you be successful, because we need people like you who are going to come in and assist in our lack of affordable housing options by you simply providing something that is affordable and it's something that can change people's lives. That's like the best of both worlds. So I want you to be able to do it right, but you have to do it the right way. So I'm going to tell you, don't go the route of just simply plugging it in. I want you to go into it with the right intentions on how to use it. And we'll talk about that briefly toward the end of this episode. But you want to be able to do it right. Don't go in here just trying to create it and think you can create this trying to save yourself $1 from finding somebody who can show you how to do this, okay? So once you get in this, because if you rely solely on AI to create documents for you, you don't know whether it's right or wrong, do you? It sounds good, everything. I'm gonna just tell you this, being a person who utilizes AI, you could tell when it's like way off. I'm like, how did it get to that? But you don't know that it's wrong. I know how to run this stuff. I know how to build it. I've been doing it for 14 years. So I can look at it, put something in there and say, no, that ain't right. Nope, that's not right. And I check her. Aisha be checked on a regular basis because I utilize AI for the right things when we're trying to build. So you want to just learn how to do it the right way and don't rely solely on the tool to create what it is that you need. It is simply a tool. So when you properly, and I'm just going to say this, when you don't do it properly, you're running the risk of having some legal liability because you're going to end up structuring it wrong or saying something wrong because you didn't know what to check for. You thought it was right, but it wasn't right. You didn't do your necessary research to make sure that things lined up as it needed to, related to the type of property you're going to choose. Even hearing the differences of whether you have a group home, transitional home, boarding house, because they have them all are different in every different state. And you can even tell ChatGPT to do something specific and it still gives you the wrong answer. So you just have to have some discernment in this space, and without experience, you're going to end up messing up and you're going to get yourself legally in trouble creating something based off of a tool that wasn't a reliable source to build on. Even if you're looking at zoning and compliance, like there's specific things that AI just can't give you. It can look some stuff up, it can rattle some stuff off, but it's not getting to the details and understanding what to look for and what not to look for. and as it relates to even staffing or what type of staff you can and cannot create. Like there's specific things you don't know what is right and what is wrong. So by utilizing AI specifically to create this, you're gonna run into some things that you're gonna hit and you're not gonna be able to overcome that. And is the cost worth it? Is it worth it? It's not. And let me give you a perfect example. If you set up everything through ChatGPT or any other AI system, and you put it together, you open the doors, you buy and spend all this money to set this up, and you can get shut down the next day, the next month, a year from now. Now, and let's say that you spent $100,000, $200,000, even if it were just $50,000, I can tell you finding a reliable source to teach you this stuff is a lot cheaper than the cost of not doing it. So you have to see if it's worth the cost to you. And once again, you know, my mama always used to say that a hard head make a soft tail. And that's a true statement. So my goal is that you get into this the right reasons in the right way so that you can be successful long term. You're not trying to get into something that's going to end up dying in a year from now. You want to create something that's sustainable. So when you solely rely on ChatGPT to create those pieces for you, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And you need experts, and not just experts. I would say people who've done it, who have experience in it. I would even say years of experience, only because someone who just gets into this space and they've done it for a few years might not have seen everything that they need to see to help protect you. And the goal of choosing a mentor or somebody to teach you this space is worth volumes to you, especially if they've got years of experience doing something. And I could just say 15 years doing this, oh, I got some stories for you. So being able to learn from the mistakes that someone like me has made over the years, and I know how to curtail those things or how to mitigate things for you, that's worth its weight in gold. And the cost of that is priceless. So I just say using ChatGPT to create all of the systems that you need, all these other things, yeah, you really need some guidance on what to do, and make sure you have a sound system for being able to create it. So the ways in which AI can help, because I don't want to make you think you can't use AI. I use it to create a lot of other things that I need impact on, because like I said, with my 15 years of experience and its ability to research quickly on things that I'm expanding on, that's worth its weight in gold. So I love using ChatGPT for drafting purposes. If I just wanted to quickly just draft something pretty quickly, because that's what I would use an assistant for, right? I would tell her to go do something. She does it, bring it back. I review it, check. I redline it, send it back to her. Do the same thing with Aisha. Aisha does exactly the same thing that I would tell my assistant to do. My assistant just takes longer than Aisha does. So just drafting things that need to be quickly done or reviewed, reviewing information, making sure I got it tight enough. If it is even down to like if I'm brainstorming, like if I have a billion thoughts. I don't know, those of y'all who follow me regularly, I'm constantly thinking, constantly like coming up with things or combining things. So I might bounce stuff off of Aisha that I can't always bounce off of my team. My team gets a little tired of me, by the way. My team gets tired of hearing from me bouncing ideas off. So I allow Aisha to help construct my thoughts related to what I want to do next or expand on something else, because I'm constantly growing, constantly thinking of new ways of doing things. So Aisha can really just help me do what's necessary to move me forward. And I like that. Now, I haven't really gotten into, and then marketing, like I'm not a big person on marketing or like sales. I don't do that stuff. So, I mean, you're supposed to sell stuff and market, but she gives me good creative ways of looking at marketing or some of my ideas I'm thinking about doing. How can I maximize it? So when I'm just constantly bouncing ideas like that, then use AI for what it's worth. But I would never use it to create something that I have zero experience in, without having somebody alongside me doing it. So those are the things that most people are not doing. Many people are getting into this space of group homes. They want to cut costs, which I get it. I 100% get it. You know, your money's tight. You're trying to do everything, but you're going to learn one way or the other. And which way do you want to learn? Do you want to learn a really big lesson that could cost you thousands, or do you want to go ahead and get it up front? Because isn't your time worth something? Think about it. If it takes you an entire 2 years, or let's just say 1 year, you put this together and this big boom happens you could have caught had you had a mentor. Well, if you put 1 year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, those things have been caught, and that time is worth something. Your time is worth more than thousands. I put a high value on my time. And that's why when I think about when I'm ready to use a mentor to help me move to the next level, I'm looking at all that. I'm constantly reinvesting into people who help me grow. Every time you go to a next step, you're constantly looking for someone. So don't cut corners just because money's tight. Figure out a way to make it happen, because you're going to pay the price. So whether you're going to pay it now or you're going to pay it later. But because you don't have the experience, learning from somebody else who has that experience is worth its weight in gold. I know I beat that over the head a lot in this moment, but I cannot stress enough of how important it is that you don't just simply rely on ChatGPT or AI to create your program for you, or to create what it is that you want to do. Choose somebody who you trust, someone you relate to, someone who can help guide you, and then use that as a tool. It's not going to do everything for you. Just have it create some things that are personal to you that you like, alongside somebody giving you some guidance. And they can review what you have, or you can have it review what you created. So I'm very passionate about making sure people make the right decisions around transitional housing, this type of housing, because you're impacting people. Once you understand you are impacting people, and I cannot say enough that when you create something and you put people in it, and it could fail. So let's just say it fails. What happens to those people? See, that's why I'm passionate about this, because I want to make sure you're doing it the right way so you do not impact people. I have seen so many people who get their programs shut down, all because of little mistakes they could have avoided. So definitely do your due diligence to make sure you do it the right way. Don't rely solely on ChatGPT to create your group home or your transitional housing program or in your facility. Do it the right way. And when you do it the right way, and that's working with a mentor. I don't care what you say. You have to work with somebody who's going to show you how to properly do this the right way. That's clarifying your vision, working to know who you're going to serve, going to get the proper, once you know all those details, and then you're programming, you can then start looking for a property, making sure it meets the guidelines you're looking for specifically for that property. You know how to set it up, you know how to fill it, you know how to market it, you know how to do all the things necessary to make sure that you have a solid program that can run long-term, sustainable, and you are meeting people's needs. When you do that the right way, I'm not going to say you can't fail, because guess what? Even in the perfect of situations, you can fail. But you've given it everything you can to make sure that what you're creating, the steps you're following, are solid, and you're not relying on something you know no knowledge of and trying to sort through it all and trying to make it right. You simply cannot lose when you're working with somebody you trust and you know that knows what they're doing. So I want to just encourage you, as you are thinking about getting into transitional housing, if you're thinking about group homes, providing some other form of independent living, these things are critical to making sure you can create successful outcomes for the people who are participating in your program, and also successful outcomes for you. You're getting into this not only to help people and to help change their lives, but it can change yours too. Your trajectory for your family, your generations past you, you're creating a legacy that you can potentially build on. So I want to be able to help you do that. Now, I'm going to end this note with a story. And that was a story of, and that's why I said I love this space that I'm in. And I know people who started programs and knew an individual who really was excited about learning this stuff. And I encouraged him. I was like, yeah, I'm here available to you if you want it. I'm making myself available because I can teach you a lot that you don't know. And he's like, oh yeah, but that's too much. I don't want to spend that much. So he did go out to, I don't know which AI he used, but he went out there and created all this stuff. And yeah, it looked good until he had a knock at the door. And they ended up shutting his program down because he wasn't zoned properly. He also had some major issues related to fair housing. There was a lot going on that he didn't think about. And unfortunately, they shut him down. And that was not even a year and a half. And he was calling me. The reason why I know, he was calling me, asking me if I wanted the building because it didn't work out. And I was like, well, tell me what happened. Yep. He relied on the sources of creating it himself on AI, doing it, hanging on to a string, trying to get it created. And he had a bigger problem on his hands. And then he was stuck trying to pay that mortgage as well as his own mortgage and keep all the expenses together. And the people that they displaced, they needed housing, and it was a vulnerable population. So those are real stories that happen to people who simply want to rely on ChatGPT to create their veteran housing program or their group home or whatever. I want to encourage you to utilize the resources that you have in front of you. If it's not me, because I'm an amazing resource 15 years in, but if it's not me, then who? Find somebody who can show you how to do this the right way, keep you safe and protected as best as possible, and move you into a position where you're creating legacy. So I hope that this episode gave you some insight on what you want to do next. If you want to touch base with me, you can do it in our private community, our school community at tonyschool.com. That's TONISKOOL.com. A whole bunch of other purpose-driven leaders are in there, and we're learning from each other so that we can create partnership, collaboration in this space of transitional housing. So we have amazing programs that are not only successful, but that they can scale and create legacy. And I look forward to seeing you there.